Planned Brotherhood is not affiliated or associated with Planned Parenthood, douchebags. Planned Parenthood, douchebags, is a registered trademark of Planned Parenthood, douchebags. Is that trademark? Federation, douchebags, of America Incorporated. Enjoy the show.
It must have been, it must have been, it must have been a happy time. It must have been, it must have been, it must have been a happy time. The sun would shine, the candy bars, Kool-Aid flowing like wine, the comic books, the TV shows, the bubble gum, the kitty cat.
Oh, are we going now?
Yeah, right off the bat, since it's kind of noisy down here, this might be the closest thing we've ever done to an intro. Well, not an intro, but a solid opening of the show.
Just to address the noise, you mean?
Yeah. Yeah, the noise and the
Do you know where that's
possible
coming
echo.
from? Was
No.
there a toilet flushed or something in the house?
Whatever that is.
Yeah.
It's the heating vent. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little warm down here, too.
Yeah.
I don't know if this cavern's going to work out, guy.
It's
It's your man cave.
It's wonderful.
It's not even the first yet. They let you start hanging out here, moving in, sleeping.
Yeah, we've been here about 4 days. Tomorrow's the first day we'll have to pay rent on, but I've been here about 4 days. We talked about the new place before.
But now you're in it. And I got to see it for the first. I got to spill the first beer in your basement.
Yeah.
That happened fast.
I don't think anybody lost any money on who they bet would spill the first beer there.
We'll get to the Halloween party last night in a minute, drunkie.
Yeah. Oh man, that's true. But yeah, when I talked about moving in here before in the show, I was saying that I had only seen it once, and maybe how I was describing the cavern, like I was playing it up too much in my head,
right?
You know. And then I want to get your opinion on if you think that's true, because when I came back and looked down at it again, I thought that was the case. I was like, yeah, I remembered it way greater than it actually is.
Well, see, I had no room for disappointment because you warned me of disappointment over and over again after the original description of it. But we did explain previously that the cavern, as it's now referred to, or the gentleman's cavern, because you hate the phrase man cave. It's the basement, but it's basically been allotted to you, right?
Everybody has been saying man cave.
Oh, I know. Even our Aunt Lori, of all people.
Yeah.
Would have expected that from her. First thoughts on the basement specifically, then.
Yeah.
I like it. It's I told you earlier, it's way a basement. Like, there are some basements that are just called that.
Right.
But really they've been fully converted into a decent livable living space. And this is not that, but that's why I like it more. Like, there are jagged nails that could catch you. Like, if we got in a rowdy fight down here, look at those nails up there.
Yeah, that's
well,
true.
I'd have to throw you over the water heater as well.
Yeah.
It'd have to be a really rowdy fight.
Plus, we couldn't stand all the way up while fighting.
No, that's true. But I like it. I'm a little concerned that there's gonna be some rodents down here in no time. There are too many spaces for them to be crawling out of. They can't not find a way.
Yeah, that's right. So, are you going to be sleeping down here once we get a couch down here?
I know that you were being serious, but it seemed odd coming right off of my fear of rats coming in. Yeah, I'll sleep down here. Fuck it. I'll take a rat in the face over Sophia in the face at 7 a.m. when I'm trying to sleep.
Yeah, I mean, although you can still hear every step upstairs.
That's why... I mean, I still liked it. I guess it'll depend on how bad the audio is, because we don't even know what the echo is like in here.
Yeah.
But ideally, this will be the permanent Yakima studio. Yeah. So people are going to have to occasionally deal now, I guess. At least they'll know when I'm in Yakima, as opposed to your being in Seattle recording, probably.
Yeah, and coming up on winter time, this heating vent is going to be going all the time, too. Hold on, I'm getting a text. We still get...
yeah, phone reception's not bad down here either.
Down here.
Did I tell you officially thumbs up on the basement? I know it turned into rat talk right away.
Yeah.
But I really like how kind of disheveled and basement-like it is.
Yeah.
I do. We've got
Alvina.
what is this army sink that you have positioned as a shelf already?
It's a great shelf, and I was wondering where this shelf came from, and then I realized that it's a sink. It's like
That you just turned up right. So it's like a
well, it was already like that.
Yeah, it's
So
a
the
steel-
divider is works for a good shelf. I'm sorry, Alvina texted me, asked me to come upstairs for a second.
all right.
It turns out that there are motion sensors down here. So while we're down here, it makes that beeping noise upstairs.
Oh no way!
Like every 2 minutes. So I'm gonna have to find the code to change.
In the meantime, she's having to deal with that right now.
Yeah, she said it's fine. It's not that loud. She called me up because she thought it was like the smoke alarm going off or something.
Oh,
Because it was doing it so much.
yeah. That I guess I get the point of a sensor going off every time your front or back door opens.
Yeah.
But why would there be sensors down here in the basement? So
Because-
people aren't crawling through?
Yeah, someone could come in through those
This place is
windows
actually kind of
right
creeping
there.
me out, dude.
Yeah, someone could come in through those windows right there.
Yeah.
Oh, look, there's a motion sensor right up there in the wall.
Let's just knock that shit out.
Yeah, we should. Well, see,
Is there a way to take the battery out of it?
I was upstairs pushing buttons, and then I was like, "Oh shit, this is probably someone's probably gonna come knocking on the door right now." But yeah, good. I'm glad you like it down here, and
Is your alarm code pyramid? Because you might want to change that. I knew that was a joke for you.
it's fuck you.
That's right. That is what it was, isn't it? Yeah. Speaking of your house as a whole,
By the way, that movie,
should we say what the movie was?
Unlawful Entry.
Yes.
I always thought that was so funny because that line, they're like, "We need a 7-letter word for your passcode," and they just look at each other and go, "Pyramid." Like,
Yeah.
who's just like got that on the brain?
Maybe
all the
there's a
time?
line that we forgot where they were both into the
Maybe.
pyramids or something.
Maybe they were looking at a pyramid.
Maybe
or
they
something.
met on the set of a $20,000 pyramid.
Yeah, that's a pretty good movie. Get some Madeline Stowe nudity.
Yeah, I remember being into it at the time. Nothing like Ray Liotta in a cop uniform raping a chick. Going back to your house, I really like your house as a whole. I'm most excited about the basement, but that's because I can smoke pot down here.
Yeah.
But the house is great. I mean, your living room's twice the size. It's got some charm, so much charm that you pulled off a doorknob to the closet like before you moved in, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's one of those
that's
types of
exactly
houses.
true.
But you got the yard with the gate. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
A park directly across the street that's just going to taunt your daughter.
Found out it's a trick-or-treating neighborhood tonight.
Oh, yeah. That's so weird to think about because I realized that as kids we didn't celebrate Halloween. So nobody ever came to our house. But I don't even remember kids prowling the block, really. And since I've been an adult and lived in my own places or with roommates, never on Halloween has anybody come to my door.
Yeah, well, I think Halloweeners usually stay away from apartment buildings. Although it kind of seems like that would be the money spot.
Yeah.
So maybe that's not accurate. But every time I've lived in an apartment, no one's ever came. I guess where I lived, that house that you lived at too, that we lived in Yakima on 25th Ave, that had trick-or-treaters.
Must have, right?
Yeah.
Still avid Jehovah's Witnesses at the time.
Yeah.
Not really. I was on my last legs. Oh, yeah. So today is Halloween, we should say.
Uh-huh.
And sorry that last week's Halloween episode came out so late. Alvina had gone to pick you up from work and left me with Sophia, who fell instantly asleep. And so I was just, I don't know what I was doing. But then I didn't even know you had a doorbell, and it rang. And your doorbell seems to come from the back of the house, so that's really confusing. I thought somebody was in your yard. But eventually I found my way to the front door, and two giggling 16-year-old girls are holding pillowcases.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Those are the worst fucking trick-or-treaters.
And rather than, just tell them I don't have anything, I'm like, oh, no, I think there's candy in here. And so I let them come inside. Hold your daughter. No, they just stood out there giggling. And as I came back with candy, one of them said something as clever as, oh, yeah, we're hormonal teenagers or something. Like that was their costume.
That's really.
And then they went running off with your candy.
Yeah, that's really great.
Yeah.
You should.
But I had two legit trick-or-treaters come right after that, and that was fine.
You should have had that awesome peephole upstairs working. The big
That peephole, I was telling you earlier.
Like the window of a submarine.
I know. Because I think the idea of a people is, if I don't want somebody to know I'm home but still want to know who's at my door, they can't see my eyeball. That's why that Seinfeld episode was so funny and relevant.
Right.
But your people, like, there's a crank that you have to turn for 3 minutes, and then it's like you could see half of the face.
Door opens up.
So it's things like that make me hope that you never move out of here. But trick-or-treating with your daughter tonight, that was kind of interesting. I tagged along on that because you guys went to the neighborhood where you knew, like, this is where you've taken her the last 3 years of her life, right?
It's a prime spot in town.
It's pretty dead tonight.
Yeah, I wish that having moved into this place just a couple days ago and everything like that we would have just stuck. But there was a whole plan. We took another kid trick-or-treating, and it was a whole plan.
That kid was kind of hilarious, by the way. I'd never really hung out with him. I didn't understand a single word he said because
he speaks Spanish.
Yeah, but I liked his SWAT outfit.
Yeah,
it was. Can I say that Sophia's costume was a dud this year? I was really looking forward to seeing her as an old lady, and you've been talking about it forever.
Everything happened so terribly. I had to work. I barely got off in time.
Yeah, you weren't even sure you would be able to make it out tonight.
Yeah.
But she went as a princess. Real original Sophie.
So she wore just a frilly dress with a coat over it.
The coat's what really sold it. Talk about that because you would walk most halfway to the door with Sophie just so she doesn't fall on her face on the way there or whatever,
right.
And reminding her to say trick or treat and thank you.
Right.
So you stand far enough back, but you're still there for every single door. Talk about that encounter you had with the kid.
Well, I was dressed up as Pac-Man. Have we talked about my Halloween costume on the show?
I think we mentioned a little bit on this last episode, yeah.
I'll have to get a picture of it or something. Dressed up as Pac-Man because I didn't have time to put I couldn't find the old man makeup.
Turns out it was here in the cavern.
Yeah, and turns out Pac-Man was kind of the hit of the town.
Everybody commented on it. Every person that we walked by on every block.
Everybody this year was doing the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland.
I noticed that. I saw a few of this.
On Saturday, I saw a really good one, but then tonight there was like a lot of fucking generic Mad Hatters. And one of them was like this fat, angsty preteen. And he just walks up to me, "Hi, Pac-Man." And I go, "Hi there, Mad Hatter." But like I had to think about who he was for a second. I didn't just go, "Hey, Mad Hatter." I was like, "Hi there, Mad Hatter." And probably just like that. And he goes, "Wow, you're really good at guessing."
Where's his parent?
I'll tell you where his parent was. Then he like dropped the scarf that went around his hat or something like that.
Totally taking it away anything he had on you.
And he was trying to pick it up. And his dad is like, let's say his name was Kyle. It wasn't, but come on, Kyle, get it, Kyle. Come on, let's go, Kyle. And he's like, "Dude, I'm killing 14 million things. You're the one that wanted to."
Oh,
and
God.
They're having that fight right in the middle of everybody.
That is the worst family to go home to.
Yeah. But yeah, lots of people. It was always the same thing. "Oh, it's Pac-Man."
Hey, are you Banana?
Yeah,
you got that today.
I got that one.
And Iron Man kept taunting you.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was kind of interesting walking around. I
love taking Sophie trick-or-treating, and it gets better every year. The first time she was 1.
So you carried her, basically?
No, she walked, but it was very slow going. Very, very slow going. Last year, she just turned 2. Little better this year.
What are you going out with her at 1? She can't even eat candy at 1.
Sure she could. In fact, I think it was the first time she had candy was that Halloween. And then we let her, she's kind of being a psycho tonight. We let her usually just eat however much candy she can fit in her face on Halloween.
Well, she started with the Paletto tonight, and that was a bad idea.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like she can have as much
I don't know why I called it that. I had no business calling it that.
But then like after Halloween, she can't have that much. But yeah, she started with a paleta, which is a sucker, and that just takes forever in itself. So.
Yeah, I guess she's been kind of a weirdo tonight. I don't really know. I think she didn't take a proper nap.
No, she hasn't taken any naps since we've been back from California. But
she tried to, but the trick-or-treaters kept waking
up. She's being an asshole, too, but I meant, like, she's just being a weirdo. Like, she's got a weird sense of humor now. She gets around that Joe kid and acts really weird.
He's kind of a weirdo. I assume he's saying something crazy. I can't understand him. But you want to talk about the Halloween party last night?
Yeah.
The true reason I came out?
Yeah.
And then missed my morning bus, somehow slept. And not one of those things where it's
I
like...
knew you were missing that bus.
I know, because... And I never woke up to any of your texts like, hey, are you on the bus? Because I had drunkenly shed all my clothes in the bathroom and my phone was in there. But I did set my alarm, and I don't know how it happened. My alarm never went off, presumably, and I did not wake up until 4 hours after I was supposed to have been on the bus. Like, usually I have, especially on a night that I've been drinking a lot before, I got to pee like 8 times in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that happened.
You would have been on the bus and here.
By the time I woke up. That's
Right.
almost exactly accurate.
Did you think when you woke up and you looked at your clock, did you try to convince yourself that it must be wrong?
I had that 4-second thought.
Yeah, I always do that every
And
time.
I didn't get too mad at
Especially
myself.
when I wake up late for work.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just walking around panicking, getting my clothes on, going, maybe it's off. Look at the go look at the microwave.
This is so not me. This
Yeah.
could not have happened. But it's really not. Like, I've never missed a Greyhound before, and it's a big deal when you buy your tickets beforehand. And so I tell you, and the party's not... I was supposed to show
Right.
up at, like, noon.
Right. Not only did you miss the bus that gets you here at noon, but the next bus isn't
Which
going to get you here.
I had no way of knowing.
Right. But the next bus isn't going to get you here until 11 o'clock at night.
And the party started at 7, right?
Yeah.
What time did you and Elvina show up?
We went to a restaurant and ordered dinner and got that at about 7. We ordered dinner at about 7.
Uh-huh.
So we probably didn't get to the party till about 8:30.
All right.
And it was awkward walking into that party.
Oh, yeah.
My friend Har's throwing the party. I know he was nervous about it. First of all, he was inviting, a group of friends that, like me and, some other friends, people that he hangs out with, like on an entirely social level. Like he's known Sean since high school. I've known them for 10 years. And we go out, we drink, and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
They play sports and stuff.
So
like
what's
that.
he so nervous about?
So-
It's a party.
Well, he's got that, and then he's got a whole other group of friends coming, which are like friends in his professional world, and then these two groups are going to be all at a party together.
Okay.
Friends from work and stuff like that.
What does
So-
Hart do now?
He's in the financial business.
Oh, wow.
I
I have no idea what that means. Or could mean.
I don't really either. But yeah, so he was nervous just about. Plus, I guess when you're throwing a party, and I mean it's Halloween party. This is where people are having their Halloween party.
Right. And you're going to see some sluts.
Yeah, there's some responsibility there. So me and Alvina go in. We're happy-go-lucky. I've got my big Pac-Man outfit on. She's got the ghost from
Inky.
Pac-Man. Yeah.
And you have 2 different ways to wear these.
Right. You can wear it where your head's poking out of the top and your arms, or you can just have the whole top half of your body completely inside of the thing.
Which is way funnier.
Yeah. So we not only decide that we're going to do that and walk into the party, but we're also carrying, we had picked up 2 huge bags of ice for the party, a big thing of cranberry juice. I got my car keys, my cell phone, because I'm waiting to hear from you. So
Because you don't got any pockets in this damn
right.
thing. Yeah.
So I'm holding all of this inside of the costume with me, and we walk into the door, and through the little strip, it's nobody I recognize.
How many people sit there?
Probably 10.
Oh, my God.
And they're all in costume, but I'm like, nope, there's not Sean, there's not Daniela, there's not Har, there's not anybody here. So everyone's turns
Is
around.
this a new house? Did you think you had a wrong house for a minute?
No.
Okay.
We knew where we were going. So we walk in, and everyone sees the costumes, and they're just kind of like, Pac-Man, haha. So then we're just sitting there, and we're like, hey, everybody. And
From behind your big poofy head.
and it turns out Har's standing right there. So then, we just pull our heads.
Well, he did make a pretty convincing old lady. Did you
Yeah.
think it was an actual old lady there?
No, I was just having a nightmare at that point. And we pop our heads back down, and then we look, and we're like, hey. And it's just so awkward. We don't know. Everyone's still looking, yeah, that's a good costume. And Har is just fucking standing there. It's like, Har, can you introduce us? Can you be like, this is PJ and Alvina? But he's just like, oh yeah, that didn't work out too well for you guys. And goes back to like some It was so awkward. So then I find, and plus it's the biggest costume in the place, this Pac-Man. So like I'm running in.
That's what makes it kind of so great, though.
Yeah. But I can't just.
Because you're obviously not having fun wearing it.
I can't just squeeze through all the people that I just embarrassed myself in front of. But I made my way out to the garage, and there was Sean, and I just drank 2 beers like faster than ever, and then
yeah, because I remember I was on the Greyhound by this point, knowing that you were gonna have been there for 2-3 hours before I got there. But I had texted you right before I got on the bus, and you told me that you guys hadn't even gotten there yet, and you were having dinner, going to pull the fashionably late thing, see how it works out.
no.
And it couldn't have been more than 2 hours later that you were sending me the party time text about how great everything is going, and this party is so clicky, but my clique is awesome.
Yeah,
I like that one.
There's like 3 groups of people. There was us, those of us who like know each other really well. And then some of the more jockey, like mainly the male dates of like female coworkers of ours.
Yeah, I kind of caught away for those guys.
Playing beer pong and like just other things.
What was the other douchey thing they did? You were maybe you don't remember now.
Well, we were all playing later on in the night. The activities for the party was like minute to win it type games. Stack up and break down a bunch of cups.
I'm so glad I missed all that shit.
Kick your shoes onto the ping pong table, and these guys are like, "Come on!" This, like just going so hard.
The same competitive volleyball playing assholes I hated in the 8th grade gym.
Yeah, and then there's like the work people. But by the time I was texting you, I had a couple beers. I went outside. Mark, who has not been on the show before, but was in the room when we recorded with Har.
Episode 34, yeah. And I don't remember having liked that guy back then.
Yeah.
Only because I thought he was being too loud for wanting to sit in and be quiet on a podcast.
Yeah, he was talking a lot.
Right. But that's the only you had to tell me, first of all, he's dressed as Freddy Krueger and he's got a bunch of makeup on his face, so I never would have recognized him.
Yeah, I didn't recognize. He came up and like shook my hand, and I thought it was him. Not until he talked did I know for sure.
He's got a very distinct manner of speaking.
It's not as distinct as you might think. He's got a cousin, Paul. They sound exactly alike.
Oh, that'd be creepy.
But yeah, the 2 of them together have a distinct voice. But yeah, so I'm outside with him. He calls up a friend of his who fronts him like a 40 sack. And I was like, hey, that's great. My brother's on his way, and he's got pot. So if you smoke me out now, I'll smoke you out then. And you know, of course, he was like, of course I was going to smoke you out anyway. Yeah, let's do it. And that guy will fucking smoke and smoke and smoke.
Dude, like, no kidding.
He can go all night long.
I got I got in a circle with him twice, and both times it went on it was fun. Like that guy's super hilarious to talk to when he's high and when you're high.
As much as, you know, I've been talking lately about being paranoid when I smoke pot and stuff.
Coming around on it again?
No. But this was just a perfect circumstance where I was at somebody else's house in somebody
your daughter's
else's
gone
neighborhood
for the night. You guys,
I don't have any parental responsibilities for the night. I'm not at home. I'm not driving. I mean, it was just 100% carefree. And Alvina felt the same way, and that's why Alvina was partying so
when
hard.
Alvina gets into party mode, which I haven't seen. I mean, I guess I see it maybe once a year since Sophie's been born. Right?
Yeah,
on a holiday or somewhere.
Probably not even that often.
Yeah.
Not like last night.
Not like last night. Your wife was fucking ridiculous. And enchanting. I had a great time with her last night.
Yeah, she was a lot of
But
fun.
she really paid for it today. We won't get to that yet, though. Let's talk about how hilarious Alvina was.
Well, I do want to say one more thing, which was...
About yourself? Go ahead.
Right when we were going to start the minute to win it games... Oh, I probably don't want to share this just because it's gross.
I wasn't going to mention this because...
it's just gross, right?
Yeah, I may as well get it out.
Yeah, I farted. It turned into what the kids are call a shark. And
this was not in the living room during a minute to win a game.
No, this was outside. I was outside.
You were outside?
I was outside sneaking a drag off a cigarette.
Okay.
And I just go to fart and yeah.
And it was pretty bad?
it was bad enough to where I wasn't going to ignore it. But underneath the Pac-Man costume, I was wearing thermal black thermal shirt, what I'm wearing now, and then black thermal pants underneath it, like underpants. So I was already self-conscious enough about my junk being visible through those that I definitely didn't want to take off a layer and like just throw away my underwear.
Which would have been the easiest route had you been wearing any other kind of pants.
Also, I didn't want to turn on the bathtub water because that's super obvious and loud. So I will apologize to Hart and say I used hand soap and washed them in his sink.
It's liquid soap, though, right? You're not putting a bar up to it.
No, but I still washed it in his bathroom sink, where like he brushes.
So
his
wait,
teeth
you didn't
and
tell me
bends
about how
down
you
into the faucet.
Oh, so you made the awkward sticky walk from the out. You didn't shed them outside and then have to carry them in.
No, I just went inside, had to ask, where's the bathroom?
Oh, Jesus.
Went in there, looked at the damage. It was not as bad as it could have been, but worse than I was hoping.
It's a terrible thing.
We had come back from dinner, and I got drunk fast last night.
I know, man. I was so jealous. I was like, I kept telling you, dude, I got to take a cab, because you were already drinking, so I wasn't expecting a ride. I knew I was going to take a cab, and I called you I texted you when I got into town, and you were like, fucking A, dude, and you're just saying something crazy off the wall, and then I was afraid you were going to pass out within a half hour of my being there.
Yeah.
But you touched it out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I really went, so what, you get there about 11.
Mm-hmm. No, 11:30 by the time I got there in the cab.
Okay. Yeah, I had, so that's more than 3 hours after I had been there.
Right when I got there and had come inside and sat down at the table with you, you're like, dude, let's do a shot. Let's drink whiskey. And then you forgot about it for like 10 minutes and went to go play ping pong and came back and I was like, are we going to take the shot? And you're like, nah, I don't want a shot.
Yeah, I couldn't take a shot. Just after play, I forgot until right now that I played ping pong.
In your Pac-Man outfit.
Yeah. Oh, boy, that left me winded. So, yeah, when you get, I remember meeting you outside, and just when we're walking in, I'm just like, I'm really sorry that we're all so, because it was so weird, because just that feeling you have when you're drunk, and like just everything is sort of unreal and just fucking great.
Yeah.
But so I was there, and you know how that is, but even there, I know how it is. I mean, to just hours earlier, walking into the most awkward situation of my life with the fucking Pac-Man over my head.
I didn't find it to be that awkward, though, because the party was in full swing when I got there.
That helped.
And so nobody's paying that much attention to me. I can just relax and try and catch up.
Yeah. Because I was like, I'm sorry that I'm so fucked up right now. And
oh, man, I had a great time. And, yeah, Elvina's bonkers, like, the second I sit down. Like, by bonkers, I mean she's just drinking a lot. And for a while, she just sat and chit-chatted in the kitchen for the most part, and I wasn't mostly there.
Yeah, there are three other girls who, like, the four of them are really just talking all night.
Yeah. And then I probably...
Alvina gets wildly inappropriate when she's drinking.
How so?
I don't know. Just with
one example.
Just the things she's willing to say. She'll start talking about like her sex life or something.
I've never got any of that.
All right. I'll say that I used to be like, hey, calm down. I used to be that guy, but now I'm like, fuck it, man. My wife can do whatever she wants when she's drunk. Like, we all make asses of ourselves.
I know, and it's such a rarity with Elvina that it's super exciting to be around.
Because I also see so much at the bar, guys trying to rein in their girls, and I was like, just one day I was like, I'll never do that again.
Yeah,
she can fucking
good
act
policy.
as bananas as she wants, and I won't care. I mean, I'll stop her.
You hate it when she's bitchy to somebody, though.
Yeah.
If it's not warranted.
Yeah.
That's different, I guess.
But she's not like that when she's drunk, though. She just gets super friendly.
Oh, I'm not saying she is. Yeah. She's the opposite of bitchy when she's drunk.
When she's sober, I'm always trying to rein her in. It's only drunkenness.
At one point, you'd come outside with me and Mark, Freddy Krueger, to smoke pot. And I was chain smoking out there. I was happy to be out there. And then you You kept saying that you were going to go and find Alvina and come back. And I
Yeah.
thought that just meant you were going to go and not want to hang out with us two anymore.
No, she had told me she wanted to come outside. We'll say for some air.
Yeah.
She really wanted to join our
See, I wasn't sure where to
Potsdam.
go with that. Yeah, she wanted to have some air. She drank a lot.
Yeah.
So, like, there was two back. For some reason, you came back from the house and you didn't have her and you hung out a little while again and then went back. And every time I'm like, okay, dude, my whiskey's right there on the curb. Like, you had poured me a shot of whiskey in a plastic cup. And you kept, I thought you were doing it intentionally at first, it looked to me as if you were pretending to almost kick it and then walk along. And then finally you fucking kicked it over. But you brought Alvina out and she was getting some air with us. And you ditched us after like 5 minutes. I don't know why. You were just done with that part.
Yeah, dude. I was just bouncing around.
But her and Mark and I continued to hang out there for like 15 minutes, and she was cracking up at everything. Alvina hardly ever laughs at my jokes. Hardly ever. That's not true. 40% of the time she laughs at my jokes. But when she's drunk, there's no stopping her. Like, I feel like the comedy king. And then, but then just as quickly, she started getting freaked out by everything. I think, because when you were out there, before you bailed on us, you kept encouraging Mark to go like this to Alvina with his costume. Hold up his claw and say, "I'm Freddy." And she would start squealing with horror every time. And so, yeah, it degenerated into a conversation in which we talked about rats and spiders and, hey, have you ever had a ghost encounter? For real, I'm talking about now.
Yeah, dude, she hates them. I can't believe she stayed out there.
Yeah, she even told us a story about a ghost encounter, I think.
Oh, my God, I'm sure she did. It's Dia de la Muerta.
Anyway, great party. Thanks, Har.
Yeah, and then, let's see. So party's going. All the losers leave. It's just our group now. We're there.
Pigskin comes out.
Yeah, hard.
They're playing football in his living room. Meanwhile, Har
which shows how much Har had to drink, because Har would not fucking do it. I mean, you saw he's got a lot of nice shit in his house.
Yeah.
Like,
and we're not
no
talking a
reason for him to
Nerf
do
ball
it.
here.
No. Full on football. I remember dancing at some point
Yes.
at the end of the night. I've been like dancing with
I can't
the
quite
football.
remember why. Why.
I think Sean was trying to get his wife to dance, and she was I was like, "Come on, everybody's doing it," and I was like,
You know how few times in my life I've seen you dance, even as a joke for anything?
Yeah,
It's not your gig, dude.
You know what's funny is I was really drunk at that point, but this is the point of the day to where I was like, "Oh, I've sobered up enough. I can drive home." But I'm going out there and dancing, in public.
Humping a football.
Yeah.
I like Sean was playing DJ for that last half hour to hour of the night and taking it so seriously. Like every time I looked over at him, he never moved away from the iTunes. And he had sunglasses on over his, what was he? He was like some kind of Victorian. What was his costume last
He
night?
said it was his costume was Interview with the Vampire. So I don't know if the movie or what.
I think he's talking about the piece of literature, the book.
But I mean, his costume is the title of the book, or he's a character from it.
I'm Twilight. You don't get it?
He was classic Dracula. That's what he was. That's what he didn't want to admit.
But he was just sitting there and he was just staring at the party with his sunglasses on for like an hour. And people would laugh and be like, "Sean, what the fuck is wrong with you? Move." And he just continued to sit there. Every time I looked over, he was staring at me.
Yeah. So we eventually did leave, not before taking one last shot of whiskey, which Alvina took a shot of whiskey. That's insane to me.
Never seen it in my life. I've never seen her take a shot of anything.
Yeah, and when she does, it's always
Jaeger.
a shot with like 5 different things in it.
Oh, gotcha.
So we're driving home. I sort of purposely left the vodka there, or at least like as soon as we got outside, I'm not going to be like, "Oh, I'm going back in." Some other people who were there went back in to get the bowl of candy they had brought.
That's odd.
Or maybe he just said, "Take this bowl of candy." I don't know. But I was like, "Oh, I don't really want to go back in there for the vodka." Especially
because Hart was so sad when we left.
Yeah,
he's like, dude, it was like 2:33 in the morning or
yeah.
something,
Well,
right?
I told him we were all going to spend the night.
Oh, that's right. Why
But-
didn't we, PJ?
Because
I even had pajamas in my backpack.
Because we would have woken up, hung over, and his house would have been a huge mess, and we would have felt like we can't just leave now and not help him clean up.
Yeah.
I was like, let's go and let's not be the very last people to go. But I left the vodka there mostly because I was holding court on that whiskey bottle all night long. Every drop
some
of
good
whiskey from that bottle, I poured it out. I didn't
Did you bring
drink-
that whiskey?
No. And that's why. Because if Har bought it, then I was like, okay, well, I'll leave you this vodka. Because, yeah, I went to town on that whiskey. But we're driving home, and what does Alvina wanted? She kept saying, let's make this night worth it. Let's make this night worth it.
Her excitement was infectious, and I was happy to be fully buzzed at that point because, there was an hour at the party where everybody's shit-faced, and I'm just waiting to get there. But now I was there, too. And, once it had come up that the vodka was left back at the house, Alvina we should go back and get it because it was too late to go buy beer or anything anywhere.
Right.
Which I was a little bummed out about. But what at that point in the night, what am I thinking?
Yeah.
Why do I need to drink more?
Right. But then we remember, oh, well, when we get back to the house, we can smoke pot. And then, yay, we're all so happy again.
But first, we're going to go to McDonald's and
Yeah.
buy $80 worth of food.
Yeah, first we got to stop at McDonald's so we can all get food. And Alvina, who barely took like 2 bites, was the one who wanted to go there. First, she wanted to go to like Mel's Diner. And that's when she started going, let's make tonight worth it. Let's live it up.
And we probably said you can't smoke pot at Mel's Diner.
Right, exactly. We can't smoke pot if we're at Mel's Diner. Daddy needs to get high. So we go to get food, and then there's some guy like leaning against a wall outside
At 3 in the morning.
and Alvina's like begging me to stop so she can go talk to him and ask him why is he leaning up against the wall. And it's so funny to see her like that. And then then we come home and she took like 2 bites of her food, and then she's dying laughing at the
Snorting
office.
laughing at the office.
On demand, thanks to my new cable.
Love it.
HD DVR. And that's it. And then I woke up to her saying, I'm going to bed.
And you were not getting up. You'd passed out halfway through the office.
Yeah,
You
it
wolfed
was
down your
tough.
food, and then you were just stone cold out. And the funniest thing I think about everything that happened last night is Alvina woke up this morning feeling great. She looked like a fucking hurricane when she came out.
Yeah, she was in bad shape. Alvina gets hungover extremely easily. And then so when she does things like take a straight shot of whiskey at the end of the night, that's not going to help. But I will say that as bad as her hangover was in the beginning, usually when she has a hangover, it's an all-day affair.
Oh, yeah.
So this is one of the better hangovers she's had. Maybe it's because she knew how much we had to do today. We had to finish moving. We
Right.
had to fucking go trick-or-treating and
It's
stuff.
like, God,
that.
Yakima, come through with a Menudo when a woman needs it, right?
Oh, God, that drove me bananas today. That's
She
when
was
I,
insisting on a soup that she thought she could help her hangover.
That's when I feel bad when you're in town, dude, is when I get in these moods, and I know that it's awkward for you, but I just can't help the mood.
I didn't realize how awkward it was until later on in the day when you apologized for it. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I didn't think it was that big of a deal.
She wanted for her hangover this special kind of soup. It's like pig intestine, menudo.
Uh-huh.
So
And you think Yakima especially, there's a million different authentic Mexican
Yeah.
places.
Now that's all well and good, but today there was a lot of things to be done. We had to finish moving. We had to finish completely moving out of the old apartment into this apartment.
There wasn't that much left, but it was still
Right.
something you knew you had to get done
Right.
today.
We had to go to Target, which we did first.
Love Target.
Go get this menudo. Go finish the apartment. I had to go to work. Then there was trick-or-treating. I had to write a 5-page essay, and we had to record the podcast. So all this is going to happen today, and I want to get as much done before I have it, because going to work is like the halfway point.
Right.
I want to get as much done before that. So anyway, so we go all the way over to the other side of town to go to this Mexican restaurant where she knows they have Menudo. They don't have Menudo. So,
They usually do. They were just out.
right. So she doesn't want to eat there because she really wants Menudo. Understandable. So we go to
I'm still on board at this point.
So we go to the one other place where we know they have Menudo. They're closed.
Mhm.
They're closed today. So then she decides, well,
Why are they closed on a? Oh, I guess it's Sunday
uh,
and a holiday. Okay, it makes sense.
She decides, well, then I don't really need the Menudo. I just want like a torta. So I'm like, great. We'll go back to that place. No, we can't go back to that place. What? Why not? Because it's embarrassing. We were just there and left. Now we're going to come back. And I'm like, come on, don't be ridiculous. And then that's when she gets testy, and then I got to be like, okay, fine. We will waste more time to follow this ridiculous little thing. And the thing is, it's like, do you care that I have so much work to do today? Like, if Alvina had to write a 5-page essay, and I was crying about, like, which McDonald's to go to, and I don't want to go back in there, I'm embarrassed. Like, come on, that wouldn't fly. Since she's
Although she did try to throw it back at you because when you were like when she was putting up a fuss about not wanting to go back to that one, she says if this were you, you wouldn't go back either. Is that true?
that doesn't make any sense because it was me. I was going back there.
Yeah,
You know
but
what
she
I
was the
mean?
one that actually placed the order
It doesn't matter. It was
in Spanish.
I still had been
She has a
there
special
and was-
bond with those people.
Come on, that's ridiculous.
Don't see, you're getting all angry again.
I am because it was like she didn't even care what I had to do. So then she wants to go to this place. I was like, Beaner, last time we were at this place, it took them like 45 minutes to make our food. Like, I don't want to. It's this taco truck. I was like, I don't want to wait like that. We're gonna have to eat outside in the cold. No, there's a place you can eat. No, it's not going to take that long. Last time we were just busy. Blah, 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 blah. So we go there. How long did we wait for that food?
At least a half an hour.
At least a half an hour, if not 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Of time just ticking away. The place where you can sit down to eat literally smells like the underwear I cleaned in Har's sink last night. It's fucking disgusting. So then where do we go? To the
I
old apartment.
I never went in there to smell it myself, but
So then we go to the old apartment and we're sitting on the floor eating, and time is just fucking ticking by. I was just getting in a worse and worse, and the whole time she's just going, I'm very sorry, blah, 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 blah. And then I'm like, why couldn't we just go back to that one place with this embarrassment, blah, blah, blah. But then I'm just being like super passive aggressive, like, well, that's fine. As long as we never fucking come back to this place again, I'll be fine.
Now,
I'm not going to wait 45 minutes for my food. It's ridiculous.
I'm curious how much that has to do with me. Like, if I wasn't here, would you guys be having a more real conversation at that very moment?
No, because you really can't have a real conversation with Alvina in that moment. She's just everything's going to be like, okay, well, I'm so sorry. And just like always just half an inch away from turning into a fight.
Yeah.
It can't be a real conversation. It's going to be a fight, if anything. So, no, it would have gone down exactly how it did.
All right, good.
Just, I felt bad that you were there having to listen to it.
I really, I didn't. I was annoyed that it was taking that long to eat because I was hungry. But aside from that, I had no. The only indication I ever got of the tension going on was when you would throw your passive-aggressive apologies back and forth to each other.
Yeah. I'm sorry I'm mad. It's just that I have to write this shit tonight. Yeah. It's fucking terrible. It's the bad thing about, like, me working weekends and her not, like Sundays and shit are just the days when she just wants to go slow about everything. But I'm like, whatever we do, I have to be home by this time so I can go to work.
Yeah.
And I've got this much, like, fucking homework to do after because she knows, like, oh, yeah, I can go slow, do her homework while I'm at work and whatever the fuck. Like, it's so easy for her. No one knows the shit I go through.
I
The
think
shit
they
I
do
had to
now.
go through tonight just to get the night off to go trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
Fucking princess dress again. Cool. Everyone had to ask, what are you? I'm a princess with a thick coat on.
Now, I should have asked this before we started recording. Do we know if this how soundproof this basement is?
I don't.
Alvina's supposedly sleeping upstairs, but
Yeah, I should have asked her. If she could
you
hear us.
should have.
But yeah, I'll ask her after tonight. We'll know. After this batch of episodes, we'll know.
After she's waiting with a frying pan as soon as you step back upstairs.
Fight. It must have been. It must have been. It must have been a happy time. It must have been. It must have been. It must have been a happy time.